I would now like to ask Ms. Nicole Bidegain to please give her presentation, and if you could be as concise, I would be very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Co-Chair. My name is Nicole Bidegain, and I'm representing DAWN, Development Alternatives with Women for a New Era, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the Women's Major Group. And I would like to briefly say it's a very key, important message for us. The first one is, as Deborah says, economic growth is not equal to economic development. And economic growth and macroeconomic policies are not gender neutral. Gender-based power relations explain, to a certain extent, the distribution of opportunities and resources existing in society. So we can assess, for instance, the impacts of international trade or financial liberalization differently, as women and men are distributed as part of the workforce, consumers, producers, responsible of activities of the care economy, within and outside the households. From this perspective, for us, SDGs must be rooted much more in a goal of sustainability of life, rather than sustainability of growth, however inclusive it might be. So we make a strong call for a reorientation of economic dynamics from a corporatization and financialization of the economy towards sustainable and equitable-oriented production, consumption, but also reproduction patterns. So what does this mean? What this powerful mission means is that the SDGs must be focused on a transformative redistribution of resources. And this implies promoting productive diversification in sustainable and employment-intensive sectors, linking finance to real economy, and tackling structural discriminations based on gender, age, and race. And for this, we need much regulation in terms of financial markets, market structure and competition, on redistributing mechanisms, on labor markets and social protection systems, including care and sexual and reproductive health services. In order to achieve this, we prioritize 5 areas. And the first one is to target that address trade asymmetries between regions and countries, guaranteeing the special and differential treatment principle for developing countries, the removal of subsidies in developed countries, especially in agriculture, and the flexibilization of intellectual property rights rules in order to protect public health, environment, and natural resources. Another target, it's important to address the review of the investment protection treaties and free trade agreements that are eroding the national laws and policy space to fulfill government's obligations regarding human rights, environmental sustainability, including women's access to education, health care, access to medicine and sexual and reproductive health services, access to drinking water, and sustainable and affordable energy sources. So trade and investment policies should be subject to ex ante and ex post facto gender, human rights, and environmental impact assessment. The second big area for targeting the SDGs should be to reverse the race to the bottom. So adopting a mechanism for global cooperation to tackle this tendency, which is based on a lowering taxes, human rights, environmental and labor standards to attract foreign direct investment. And we have some experience in, for instance, in my country, where FDI is subject to performance requirement in order to create decent work, eliminating gender pay gap, and also providing technology transfer and skill, and promoting links with small and medium enterprises and territorial decentralization. So this mechanism also should include a binding multilateral code for conduct for transnational corporations to control and monitor their compliance with human rights obligations and environmental standards. The third target area is redistribution of care work. Why this is important? Because inequalities rooted in the current pattern of growth cannot be overcome without the recognition and social redistribution of unpaid care work. So SDGs should include specific targets to provide universal access to public care services, ensuring the quality of the services and the working condition of care workers, increasing public investment in infrastructure, including water, energy, and transport. A fourth area is to create incentives to redirect tax exemptions from unsustainable activities such as industrial fisheries, chemicals, and extractives towards sustainable knowledge and employment-intensive sectors and small and medium producers. So progressive taxation really can be used as a tool for productive diversification and tackling inequalities. And in this sense, the progressive tax systems that in some countries in my region, for instance, are being put in place should include tax to wealth concentration, financial speculation, and correct gender biases implicit in tax policies and tax schemes. And my final point really is about the role of state. I think that the role of state should not be downplayed in this context, in this moment. We're in an age of austerity, but in the recent Latin American experience demonstrate that states can and should play a proactive role in the economy. And SDGs cannot promote a framework where state is just limited to providing an enabling environment for business to prosper or taking over the risks of private investment in strategic sectors. Instead, SDGs should provide a strong guidance so states can reorient economic dynamics towards sustainability of life and the planet and protect, respect, and fulfillment of human rights. Thank you, co-chairs.